Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for Truth show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to a Time for Truth show. It's a pleasure to be back with you again tonight. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, and first we'll get to some basic information. Many of you have been asking, Dr. Fialkoff, how do I get to be a member? Very simple. Go on YouTube, A Time for Truth show, click on the subscribe button, and you'll be availed of all the previous episodes over the last 4 years. There's no fee, there's no cost to you. We'd love to have you as our member. And now we're going to get right to the show tonight because, you know, our world has been suffering. A few years ago, mankind suffered tremendous disease, infirmity, isolation, which caused more disease and infirmity, as proven by the Surgeon General, by a disease called COVID. If there's anything that came out good from COVID is that it showed the importance of human contact, because when we didn't socialize with each other, we got sick at an increasing rate. Marijuana use went up, alcohol use went up, both almost 50% globally. God showing a sign on earth. So tonight, we want to go over alternatives. We want to go over different modalities that actually function with nature, with how life operates, with truth, with integrity. And we're very lucky with us tonight to discuss such a modality that we're going to introduce you to. An engineer, if you will, let's put up his pictures on the screen and let's our viewers meet Lorenzo McGrew, Senior Presidential Director, an advisory board member of LifeWave, a pioneer entrepreneur, a visionary leader, a humanitarian, and a consultant with a tremendous passion for helping others to awaken and discovering their own innate power and to enhance their physical body defense mechanisms to provide wellness with this advanced light technology that he'll be presenting. McGrew has advanced training in electronic engineering and administration and was awarded the 2022 Humanitarian Award as the creator of the 1-2-3 program. Lorenzo was also founder of Beyond Technology, growing his business over a 10-year duration of expansion and culminating in being awarded the Arizona Small Business Award and #1 business by the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. He is committed to transforming the lives of all those around him by helping them overcome economic stress and create income in a direct, honest, simple manner with a clear vision that allows future possibilities. McGrew is a visionary and is driven to help all communities, not just some. He's a true American, and he wants all communities to achieve the American dream and dedicates his life to serve, to heal, and to give hope. And Buddha, if you will, let's bring him up live and welcome Lorenzo McGrew to A Time for Truth show.
Thank you, Dr. Ben.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for taking the time.
Anytime for you. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, you have an amazing life, so many things that you've done and are still doing. And what I want to ask you is tell us a little bit about what your dreams and purposes were as a young man.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, you know, like every one of us, I had amazing dreams when I was a kid, but somehow looks like there's a design to kill those dreams. But I'll tell you, back in the days, the first thing I wanted to have is just a career, because they taught me that, okay, you go to school, you get a job, and you do that. But at one point, I was working in this, they call it maquiladoras, it's a manufacturing company.
Sure.
And I had a realization there. I said, you know what? This is slavery. This is just modern slavery. So we used to arrive to the manufacturing company at 6:30 a.m. and leaving the place at 8, 9 p.m. without seeing the sun of that day. So I said, you know what? This is not what I want. So at the moment, I read a book showing you, you know, you really want to be on the right side of the quadrant and have your own business. I said, yes, that's what I want. So then I started my own business. And long story short, after several years, I became a slave of my own creation. I didn't have that many employees, but I have 35 employees, and I was running like chicken with no head. I didn't have a business system to do it. So then I said, you know what, this is not what I want. I ended up giving some of the businesses to the employees, some employees that were with me for many years, and closing those businesses. And at that moment, I had that dream inside of me to help people. You know, how can I help people? But I was looking for a vehicle to do it. And I finally found a way to help people, for they to become their own boss and for they to create whatever they want to create. So that's how my dream has been. And I had the privilege in 2016 of meeting this amazing human being by the name David Schmidt. And after that meeting that I had with him, I said, my God, I can really align my purpose in life with what he's doing to help the planet and help more people. So that's my dream.
Well, you know what? That's a beautiful dream. And I want to ask you, because you're the founder of Beyond Technology. And so you've already gone the process, you've gone the route. And there's many people watching this program tonight that would want to glean from you. What do they need to know? What are the barriers? What are the problems that they're going to encounter when they try to establish their own business?
Well, I got to tell you one thing. When you are trying to start your own business, first of all, if you're an individual that don't want problems, it may not be for you. Because having a business is not about not having problems. You're going to have problems. The good news is that you're going to have the solutions and solve those problems. But once you have your own business, I mean, especially if it is a small business, you're it. I mean, you are the one responsible for your customers, for your employees, for the government, to pay the government for every single thing that is happening. So if you're thinking about having your own business, definitely think about having a system to do it.
Well, that makes total sense, because I know with my own office, the things that I learned that we joked about that they never taught us in school, they were afraid that we'd run away, we wouldn't consider. But one of the things I want to share is that just continue. If you have a dream, there's no such thing as failure. It's just continue. And eventually you will hit your dream, as Mr. McGrew said. And so I want to ask you something, because then you went on and you have become involved with this very interesting company called LifeWave. And first I wanted to ask you, who is the founder and CEO of LifeWave?
You know, it's an amazing human being. Dr. Ben, I got to tell you, he's so focused on really helping the beings that are in this planet to have a better life, to have a better vehicle. And when I said a vehicle, to have, this is the vehicle that we're using in this planet. So to be able to maintain this vehicle for longer and in a better condition.
Very interesting. And what is his name?
His name is David Schmidt. He's an amazing being.
Wow. Well, and now something I found very interesting about this company is that you use a centuries-old known phototherapy that energizes the body. Is that true?
Well, it's a very amazing invention that he created. And yes, as a matter of fact, when you consider it appropriate, I would like to show you a 2-minute video that explains how the technology works way better than I do.
Oh, absolutely. Buddha, let's put on the first video that we have for the viewers, please. And we'll show them about LiveWave.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light that can promote a general state of health and healthy activity unique to each LifeWave patch. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared energy emitted from the body is reflected back into the body and then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative energy and enhances your ability to live well without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals.
Well, I find that totally amazing because, you know, it's not a drug. It's not something that's going to sedate me or affect my organs because I'm going to have to excrete it. And it's very innovative. So I'm very curious. It's talked about infrared. So this uses infrared. The body emits infrared?
That is correct. I mean, if you look at a body, you're going to notice that the body, it's emitting infrared constantly. And it's very interesting because it doesn't matter what religion or what philosophy you believe on. I mean, they always tell us that we are beings of light.
That's right. Well, you know, the body, as you said, is a vehicle. So regardless of my religious philosophy, which is more spiritual, which makes sense, and we're entitled to that, we have something that we have to take care of. And it's great to have something that's not a narcotic, not a medicine, and it doesn't make me dependent, you know, because I find that so many things in the world tend to make me dependent, so I avoid them. And many of my friends say the same thing, you know, they try to get things that will aid them, but not make them subservient to the technology. And something else I was curious about, because as I was looking at this, and I know that the Chinese have always had this meridian system, and you know, and that the meridians were affecting how the body worked. Does this technology also affect a type of acupuncture type of philosophy, or?
Totally. The way I see it is like if you're using acupuncture without needles, you know? Yeah. So
wow.
If you really like acupuncture, but you don't like the needles, because I don't know about you, Dr. Ben, but I don't like needles. So that definitely is that technology for you.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, my own office, when I go to do treatments, and people say that, oh my God, the Novocaine. There are definitely some reactions that occur. And so 100% to have a little patch that you put on that doesn't hurt, it's wonderful.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a new step. You know, sometimes we forget the simplicities, but that by itself allays so much apprehension that probably people have associated with health treatment, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I got to share with you because a doctor, a cardiologist surgeon, invited me to take a look at this technology the first time.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. When I saw the patch, I said, you know what, doctor, I really don't believe that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But he showed me the results of the science behind it, and I said, wow, that's very interesting. But what really convinced me was when I saw what was happening with the different bodies when they were using it on top of the clothing. When that happened, I said, wow, that really caught my attention, because it's easy to tell people, you know what, don't put those drugs into your body. But then people are going to tell you, well, but I have the pain. What do I do? So when I saw this, I said, wow, this can definitely be an amazing option for people that want to take care of their body, and they don't want to put drugs, chemicals, toxins in their body, because nothing is going to your body with this technology.
You know, it's so true. And, you know, I was going to ask you, tell us a few stories of people that have used this product and what they said.
I'll be happy to tell you. I mean, there are many, many, many stories. First of all, I want to make sure that it's very clear that this technology doesn't cure or diagnose or any illnesses or situations that person have. I mean, the best thing to do is for they to talk to their own doctors. But it's an amazing. I'm going to share with you a story that I have. I always was observing this gentleman going to this coffee place, and he had Parkinson, and he was shaking all over the place. And I saw the guy and several times, and I started feeling bad. I said, you know what? I'm not really sharing what I know can help him. So finally, I made the decision and approached him. And he was so advanced that his eyes couldn't open. So I was talking to the helper, and I said, you know, do you mind if I go and help him? I just want to see how his body responds to this. And it was truly amazing. I mean, when you see this gentleman being able to open his eyes and then start fighting or playing with a helper, it was so fulfilling. Because at the end of the day, Dr. Ben, I mean, we are here on this planet to help each other. This is our own house, so why don't we help each other with this amazing technology?
No, absolutely. And you know what? The fact that it's natural, you know, we've discovered how organic food is less toxic, so it doesn't lodge in our adipose fatty tissues. We found out that some people who were fighting to lose weight with calories, and they didn't realize they were toxic, and that actually part of losing weight is not just calorie counting, but becoming less toxic, because your body, when it has toxicity, needs to put it somewhere. And when it can't get rid of it all through sweating it, through your urinating or defecating, then what happens, it's going to hide it out of the bloodstream in fatty tissues. And so, very interesting, because your technology here, this LifeWave technology, is not anything that would have any toxicity to it. It's very interesting that this approach.
Totally. It's super, super interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting that sometimes it's hard to believe, you know. It's hard to believe because we've been raised and trained and taught that the only way that you can benefit this vehicle, the body, is through the mouth, through an injection, maybe through the anus. I mean, that is real to us. But when you see that technology like this can help your body wake up those defense mechanisms that the body already has, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's very interesting because I have a friend of mine who's a physician, and he happens to be an oncologist. He treats cancer. And I remember when we first knew each other 15, 20 years ago, he didn't really have anything but, you know, chemotherapy, radiotherapy. And obviously those therapies are very, very drastic. But it was interesting because I saw him a few years ago, and he was teasing with me because I was asking him when we were going to develop alternatives. And he called me over. He said, Dr. Ben, come here. I want to show you that I'm using vitamin C IV in my patients. And I'm using this other vitamin in my patients. And it's helping them with cancer treatment. And he looked at me and smiled because he knew that I was always asking him. And he says, well, it's happening. So this LifeWave is very interesting because it seems like it's ahead of its time, you know. And so I wanted to, ask you also, because it was this very interesting award you received for establishing this 1, 2, 3 program that helps people. Tell us a little bit about this 1, 2, 3 program and how it helps people economically.
Well, I'll be happy to tell you that the humanitarian award was received because all the members of the group that I belong to, they voted for someone, and I was so blessed that they voted for me. So it was a huge honor to receive it. Now, the 1, 2, 3 system that I started using was because when they presented this technology to me, the gentleman who was doing those demonstrations, I approached and said, "Do you mind meeting for coffee and you can explain to me about this?" He started explaining to me about acupuncture points and the whole thing, and I was lost. The first 3 minutes I was lost because I'm not a doctor and I don't know anything about acupuncture. So I said, this is going to be super difficult for people to really duplicate and be able to share with other people. And when I saw something so good, I said, my God, the whole planet needs to know about this. So in the meeting with the inventor, I asked him how would he handle the pain, and then he will tell me what he would do first, and then what would he do next. So then I put in a paper and I just put in step 1, step 2, and step 3. As simple as that. So with that system, people don't need to know anything about acupuncture. They don't need to know anything about the body or any acupuncture points. They can just apply the device on top of the clothing, and then you'll see how the body responds. So I made that to make it simple for people, because I'm going to share something with you that really gets to my heart. You know, every single time I come, I'm originally from Mexico, Dr. Ben, and every single time I go to a hotel, most of the time, I'm not going to see my Latino people in the front desk, unfortunately, but I'm going to find them cleaning the rooms. So when I see that, it's like, you know, my hope is for they to be able to find something so simple so they can create whatever income they want helping other people. As simple as that. So that's the purpose of the 1, 2, 3.
Well, it's beautiful. I laud you that you cared about them so much in our life, you know, and the purpose of this show is to wake us all up to respect and help each other. There's so many times I've seen that where people who come and they're very good natured, but they're taken advantage of. And, you know, I always go by this rule: how would I feel if that was happening to me? Would I like it? And, you know, they call it the golden rule, and I think it exists in every philosophy and religion in the world, that it was nice that you applied that golden rule in your 1, 2, 3 technology. And now I want to ask you something on survival, because you're a married man, you have a family. And so I know those men out there at least will want to know, and probably their wives are wanting to see if you answer correctly. How is it that you find the time? Because I know you have so many endeavors that you love to be involved in. They're all very pro-world, pro-people, pro-survival. How do you find the time to do all these things and be with your wife, be with your family, and be with your friends?
You know, I do, and I don't focus on having the quantity of time, but I do focus on quality of time. So you can definitely create it, you know, and it's super important, of course, if you have a partner in your life, to understand your craziness, because I consider myself not normal. I'm crazy. I like to do many things, and maybe Dr. Ben, not as many things as you do, but I definitely love to create every single time, because at the end of the day, what is it if we're not creating? I mean, what is it? It's so boring. You know, one thing, I'm gonna share this with you, something that really worries me and about humanity is, like, if you open your phone, you're gonna notice that if you have an iPhone, you go to the App Store, or the Android, you go to where you download your apps, and the first thing you're gonna see are games. And you know, and people is so hypnotized with games nowadays, so that creation is like just on the side. So I invite every single one of you, play a game with yourself. What can you create today? and create and make your own games. You don't need the phone.
That's absolutely, because you know what? Life is really basically a game. And, one of the things I want to share with our viewers is when we look at this technology, which is wonderful, realize it's like a vitamin. It's like getting exercise. It's like getting more sleep. It doesn't replace your physician because he's there. He's trained to diagnose, to make sure you're on the right path. But even my friend, the oncologist, would tell you, try to do something proactive on your own. Get your exercise. Eat well organically. Don't eat too much of the processed sugars. And now we have this product, LifeWave, which is another adjunct, a tremendous one I see, with a lot of background to it. We're getting to the end of the show, and whenever something is good, the show time flies. But I wanted to ask you something before we end. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of time left, but do you think this could be utilized with people who maybe are suffering from drugs, who have low energy, who need to be stable so they can get off of the drugs without more drugs? Is that a possibility for LifeWave?
Definitely. I use it every single day. I recommend you to try it by yourself. Just try it. And the beauty of this is that there's no chemicals, there's no toxins going to your body. You can just see how it works for you. And then you definitely decide that you're going to use it every single day, because when you see the benefits are amazing, the benefits that I've seen.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. It's been, for me, very instructive, and it seems amazing. And I wanted to ask you before we end, what would you like to share with those viewers out there watching in the communities, the leaders, the mothers, the fathers, the doctors, the health practitioners, nutritionists, the politicians, the athletes? What final message would you like to share with them regarding what you'd like to see in our world in 2025 and beyond?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Doctor. I truly believe that we have a huge opportunity now. I mean, people like you and I, let's unite and really help this planet. If somebody got to do it, and it's you and I mean, if we don't do it, the planet is just going to go south. And we cannot allow that to go south because we're still here. So I just invite you to ask yourself, how can I contribute to make my people, either your family, your friends, your town, your city, your state, your country, how can you make that better for them? And once you focus on helping them, you're going to see it's amazing, but you're going to help yourself more than that. So I just invite you to join forces, do whatever you'd like to do, but that is going to be pro-survival and contribute to help this planet and to help the people that we are still here.
Well, that's beautiful. I wholeheartedly agreed, totally, wholeheartedly. And for those of you watching, let's implement that. Let's all, at this moment, decide what we enjoy doing that would help those around us. And let's just do it like we did in high school, in middle school, when we were kids. And do it because we enjoy it. And a miracle will come because, as the Hindus say, karma. And karma, you'll sow the seeds which grow the tree. And one day you'll be under that apple tree or that almond tree and eating and in rejoicing with your friends. Thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you, Dr.
And for those of you watching, we'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show. Have a very good night.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. at your feet.